Hi, and welcome back to Bake with Kids. I'm Libby, this is Ridge, and today we are making gluten-free coconut shortbread cookies. We've also got a little bonus at the end. We're going to be dipping them in chocolate, because Ridge and I both love chocolate. So let's get started. This recipe is super simple. We're gonna start off obviously by washing our hands like we do it every single time we bake. Then we're gonna get out all of our ingredients and our equipment. We're starting out with two different types of flour here. I have gluten-free flour and coconut flour. And then I have some sugar, a 1/4 cup of butter, a little bit of salt, and an egg. And then if you want, you can add in some additional flavorings. I have some vanilla extract here and also some orange extract for a little bit of fun. To make this recipe, it's very, very easy. The ratio is going to be 1/4 cup of each gluten-free flour, coconut flour, sugar, and softened butter. So let's start off with that. We've got our gluten-free flour here. The recipe calls for gluten-free all-purpose. I only had measure for measure, so that's what I used. So we're gonna take our 1/4 cup. Ridge, do you wanna hold or do you wanna measure? Hold, all right. So I'm gonna take a nice big scoopful and I'm gonna shake it right over top, right in the middle, bud, so that I don't make a big mess. I'm gonna just kind of sprinkle this flour right over top. Then I am going to level it off with my dough scraper. If you don't have a dough scraper, you can just use the back of a knife. All right, Ridge, that's going right in. So there's our gluten-free flour. You keep that. Now we're moving on to our coconut flour. Same thing, we're gonna fluff it up, sprinkle it into our 1 cup measuring cup. I'm sorry, our 1/4 cup measuring cup. And then we're gonna take our dough scraper and we are going to level it off, and that's gonna go in as well. Nice job, Rich. And finally, we're gonna do sugar. Now for sugar, we don't need to fluff, sprinkle, sweep. We're just gonna dig way down deep in there, right with our 1/4 cup measuring cup. So Rich, I want you to dig way down deep in there and fill up that measuring cup. Let's get even more. There we go. Yep, oh, perfect. A little bit of extra over the top, that's okay. We had a little extra in the cup anyway. We are now done with our measuring spoon. We're gonna add in our butter. This is a 1/4 cup of butter already measured out. And it is nice and soft. It's very, very warm here in Arizona. If your butter is not automatically softened already just by sitting out on the counter, let's say it's still too cold, you can warm up a cup of water and then pour out that water and just set it over top, kind of upside down like this, over top of your butter, and it'll actually soften it really quickly. We're also gonna add in an egg. And then we're going to add in our seasonings here. So I have a 1/4 teaspoon for salt. We're just gonna kind of level that off, add it right in. Now for your extracts, you can do about a tablespoon total in this recipe without changing anything. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually do my first teaspoon just a little over. And then my orange extract, I'm gonna do just a little bit light. So I'm gonna do a little bit less than a full teaspoon. And we're gonna put that in as well, just because the orange flavor is a little bit more overwhelming than the vanilla flavor is. Now we mix this up. If you're using a stand mixer, you're gonna wanna go about 2 minutes. I'm gonna just start it, Ridge, and get it going, and then you're gonna take over for me. If you're doing it by hand like we are, I recommend using a little spatula. This recipe comes together really, really quickly, but you do wanna make sure that you're able to scrape all the butter and egg off of the sides of your bowl. All right, how about you take a spin at that, Ridge? If you made a mess, this is a great time to clean up your area. How does it smell?
It smells like oranges.
It smells like oranges, yum. We want to get all this flour mixed in. So what I'm doing here is I'm scraping down the sides of my bowl and sort of pushing it all down to the bottom. Almost like I'm spreading it around on the bottom, like almost like I'm icing it. Now you want to do this just until you get that egg really well mixed in. And then you're just gonna take everything off the sides so that you've got sort of this blob of cookie dough in the middle. Now I'm gonna scrape off my spatula here and get everything into the center, but I'm gonna leave my spatula because I may need it to help get stuff out of my cookie scoop. The recipe says that this makes 22 cookies if you're using a tablespoon scoop. This is bigger than that, so I don't get near that many cookies, but I try to do a nice full scoop because I like the size of the cookie. All right, you wanna do this, Rich? All right, go ahead and squeeze. Okay, be careful, just watch your hands so you don't pinch yourself. Squeeze it right there. Good job. All right, I'm gonna give Ridge the task of squeezing a couple more of these out on here, and I'm gonna show you guys how to dip them in chocolate, and then Ridge, you can come back and help me dip in chocolate in just a second. So I'm gonna move you right here. Very nice, good job. Make sure they're just kind of spread out. So these are ones that I baked a little bit earlier today. And as you can see from looking at the bottom, these don't bake for very long. I did these at 400 degrees on a sheet like this. Once they were all out, I made sure that they were nice and evenly spaced. And then I just sort of patted them down with a very light touch, just so that they were a little bit flatter, nicer shaped. That's good, Ridge. You can go ahead and stop. We'll keep doing these in a minute. And once I had them all patted down, I put them in the oven and I watched them. If you like a very tender shortbread, which is how I like mine, I like mine to be more of a soft cookie consistency, then you want to do about 10 minutes. If you like a firmer shortbread that's more like a biscuit in texture, you want to do a little bit more like 14 minutes, and your top will start to be golden brown. On these, the top didn't get any color at all, which is why I like to dunk them in chocolate, because it just makes them look really, really pretty. So we've got some melted chocolate here and a tablespoon of coconut oil. The coconut oil is just gonna help to keep this liquidy, makes it a little bit easier to dip. And then we're going to sprinkle the coconut on top. I wouldn't recommend dipping and then dipping because your coconut is going to get just completely full of chocolate. So Ridge, what we're doing is we're grabbing our cookie. We're gonna dunk it in just like we're dunking a cookie in milk, and then we're gonna just let it drizzle, okay? I think you can do that. Ready? Go ahead and dunk. And then just let it drizzle. Once it stops drizzling, we just place it down. Beautiful. You can kind of rotate it from side to side to help. You want to do another one? Why don't you try one more? Go ahead and grab one. Rock them from side to side and then set them down. Beautiful. If you really want to get a lot of chocolate, you can swish it back and forth in your little bowl. Yeah, you like it with a lot of chocolate. Ridge has been dying to eat a cookie, so go for it, man. I want to hear what you think about them. Get one with chocolate and coconut. Yeah. Once you have your cookies completely done in chocolate, then we're going to take our coconut and we're just going to sprinkle it over the top. What do you think? Super good? Yeah? Well, it has the Ridge vote for a way to go recipe. So then we take our little pinches of coconut and we just sort of sprinkle them right over the top. Don't worry about making a mess. Any extra coconut is just gonna fall off. But you want it to really stick on top of there. Then you wanna put these in the refrigerator for just a couple of minutes and they'll firm up really nicely. If you have time to let them sit on your counter, that's great too. They do not sit well on counters here in Arizona when it's almost 100 degrees outside. So don't set them out on your counter if you're in a southern state where it's getting warm. But if you're in the north, you might have a cool enough kitchen that you can still have them out and they'll solidify. I also like to keep these in the fridge or the freezer. If you don't dunk them in chocolate, they keep really well on the counter. But once they have the chocolate on top of them, I find that they're just better after you have them in the freezer. They're nice and cold, and you can set them out for a few minutes without the chocolate melting into a puddle. All right, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us for Bake with Kids today. Ridge and I will see you again in a couple weeks. Bye.